The music industry woke up stunned after Bruno Mars quietly walked away with 3 massive wins at the 2026 American Music Awards, reminding the world that one of pop and R&B's biggest superstars never really left the throne. In a night packed with surprises, viral moments, and emotional fan reactions across social media, Bruno Mars emerged as one of the biggest winners of the evening despite reportedly not attending the ceremony in person. The singer-songwriter collected trophies for Best Male R&B Artist, Best R&B Song for I Just Might, and Best R&B Album for The Romantic, bringing his career total to an astonishing 17 American Music Awards. For millions watching at home, the moment felt bigger than a normal award show victory. It felt like a statement. A reminder. A warning to the rest of the music industry that Bruno Mars still commands an almost unmatched level of respect, replay value, and cultural influence. What made the story even more remarkable was the silence surrounding him before the ceremony. Unlike many modern artists who dominate headlines through controversy, live streams, or non-stop social media activity, Bruno Mars entered the AMAs with relatively little public promotion. There were no dramatic interviews. No major publicity campaign. No viral press tour. Yet by the end of the night, his name had completely taken over online conversation. Within minutes of the results being announced, hashtags connected to Bruno Mars began trending across X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Fans flooded social media with clips from older performances, reactions to his wins, and emotional tributes celebrating what many called the return of real musicianship. Entertainment analyst Marcus Hill told Billboard Weekly that the reaction revealed something deeper happening inside modern music culture. Bruno Mars represents a rare type of artist in today's industry, Hill explained. He doesn't need controversy to stay relevant. He disappears, comes back with quality music, and suddenly the entire industry shifts around him again. That sentiment echoed throughout the night as fans and critics alike reflected on Bruno Mars' unusual career trajectory. Unlike many pop stars whose popularity rises and falls rapidly, Mars has maintained elite status for more than a decade by evolving carefully rather than constantly chasing trends. His AMA victories this year are being viewed by many insiders as proof that longevity still matters in the streaming era. Music producer Alina Reyes, who has worked with several major R&B artists over the last 5 years, said Bruno Mars continues to dominate because he understands emotional connection better than almost anyone in the business. He makes records that feel timeless, Reyes said during a backstage interview after the awards. A Bruno Mars song can play in a stadium, a wedding, a club, or somebody's car at 2 a.m. That's extremely rare now. Part of the fascination surrounding the 2026 AMAs came from how unexpected the sweep felt. While Bruno Mars was heavily respected heading into the event, many younger artists were considered favorites due to streaming numbers and social media engagement. Instead, the voters appeared to reward consistency, vocal performance, songwriting, and overall artistry. The win for Best R&B Album especially surprised industry watchers. The Romantic had already generated strong fan support since release, but some critics believed newer experimental R&B projects might take the category. Instead, the album's classic sound, emotional themes, and polished production ultimately carried the night. Fans online described the victory as old-school talent beating algorithm music. That phrase quickly went viral. Across TikTok, reaction videos from fans accumulated millions of views overnight. Some younger listeners admitted they had only recently discovered Bruno Mars through viral clips and collaborations. Others said the AMAs reminded them why his earlier albums became defining soundtracks of the 2010s. One fan from Chicago posted a reaction video saying, "This man disappears for months and still wins everything. That's superstar power." Another user wrote, "Bruno Mars doesn't chase the moment. The moment chases him." The emotional connection between Bruno Mars and audiences has always been difficult to fully explain using charts alone. While streaming numbers remain important, his influence stretches beyond statistics. His music often feels designed for shared experiences, concerts, celebrations, heartbreak, nostalgia, and unforgettable nights. That emotional accessibility may explain why his audience spans multiple generations. At the AMAs, industry insiders reportedly noticed how often Bruno Mars' name came up during backstage conversations, even in categories he was not nominated for. Several artists referenced him as an inspiration while discussing performance standards and live musicianship. R&B singer Khalil Monroe told reporters that Bruno Mars changed expectations for male performers in modern pop. "He brought real showmanship back," Monroe said. "A lot of artists can make a hit record. Very few can command a stage the way Bruno does." That legacy became even more visible after clips from his older AMA performances resurfaced online following the ceremony. Fans revisited iconic moments from 24K Magic, That's What I Like, and Silk Sonic era performances, generating renewed interest across streaming platforms. Spotify trends reportedly showed spikes in Bruno Mars streams just hours after the AMA's broadcast ended. The timing of the victories also matters. Over the last few years, the music industry has experienced major changes in audience behavior. Viral trends now move faster than ever. Artists often dominate headlines for weeks and disappear just as quickly. Against that backdrop, Bruno Mars represents something increasingly uncommon: durability. Entertainment columnist Dana Whitmore described the AMA results as a cultural correction. "We're living in an era where attention spans are shorter than ever," Whitmore said during a televised recap. Bruno Mars winning big again reminds people that genuine talent and replay value still matter. Even without attending the ceremony, Bruno Mars somehow became one of the defining images of the night. Screenshots of his award graphics spread across every major platform. Fan edits exploded online. Commentary videos analyzing his impact began appearing across YouTube within hours. For many viewers, the absence itself became part of the mystery. Why wasn't he there? Some reports suggested scheduling conflicts connected to ongoing performances and private commitments. Others speculated that Bruno Mars intentionally avoids excessive media exposure to preserve a certain mystique around his public image. Ironically, that strategy may be helping him more than ever. In a digital culture where celebrities constantly post updates and personal content, Bruno Mars maintains a level of distance that feels increasingly rare. Fans do not see every detail of his daily life. They mainly see the work, the music, the performances. And when he wins, the impact feels larger. Industry veteran and former label executive Richard Fallon believes that separation creates anticipation. Scarcity creates value, Fallon explained. Bruno Mars understands branding better than people realize. Every appearance feels important because he doesn't oversaturate the audience. That approach appears to be paying off in extraordinary ways. With 17 AMA victories now attached to his career, Bruno Mars joins an elite group of artists whose awards success reflects not only popularity but sustained cultural influence. His catalog continues to perform strongly across streaming services while younger audiences continue discovering his music for the first time. Meanwhile, longtime fans see the latest wins as validation. For them, the AMAs did not simply reward a successful artist. They rewarded an artist who has consistently delivered high-quality performances, songwriting, and production across multiple eras of music. The victories also reignited discussions about Bruno Mars' place in modern music history. Some critics now argue he belongs in conversations alongside the defining entertainers of the last 2 decades. Others believe his versatility, moving between pop, funk, soul, R&B, and retro-inspired production, makes him one of the hardest artists to categorize. That versatility may be exactly why he continues to survive changing trends. Music journalist Erica Vaughn summarized the feeling shared by many viewers after the awards. "Every few years, the industry tries to move on from Bruno Mars," Vaughn said. "And every few years, he comes back and reminds everyone that he's still operating at a different level." As reactions continue pouring in online, fans are now turning attention toward what comes next. Rumors surrounding future tours, collaborations, and live performances are already intensifying following the AMA sweep. Some fans believe the success of the Romantic could lead to another major stadium tour announcement. Others are hoping for additional collaborations following the massive global response to recent crossover hits. For now, however, the biggest story is simple. Bruno Mars walked into the 2026 American Music Awards season with 4 nominations and walked out with 3 major wins, all while barely saying a word publicly. No controversy. No chaos. Just trophies. In an entertainment landscape dominated by noise, Bruno Mars once again proved that excellence can still speak louder than everything else. And judging by the reaction from fans, critics, and the industry itself, the music world may have just witnessed another defining chapter in one of modern entertainment's most remarkable careers.